It's the inaugural year for the Eastern Oregon Filmmaker Residency, which is put on by the Eastern Oregon Film Festival. There are 6 filmmakers that were selected especially for this program. So congratulations to all of you for being selected. That's really a great honor, it seems, because it sounds like an amazing experience and program. So good job on that. Want to talk to you guys a little about, first of all, your experience so far at the residency. Natalie just mentioned that you have like 2 days left. Is that right? Wow, that's totally crazy. So you've been there an entire month, right? The month of May.
Yeah, we got here April 30th.
Oh my gosh.
Our final day is Wednesday.
Wow, that's really amazing.
I'm Natalie Metzger, and I am a producer, director, and writer, and I'm super honored to be part of this residency. I came up here initially thinking that I was going to work on a bunch of revisions and rewrites for a feature sci-fi script that I've been developing called Immortal. Being part of this group and being part of this cohort of 6 filmmakers, we ended up being a really great brain trust for each other, and also just support network and feedback sounding boards. And so I did the revisions for Immortal, and through the kind of support of the group, started writing a new script that I'm really excited about, called But There's Time for That.
So hi, thanks so much for having us. My name is Karina Lomelin Ripper. I'm a writer, director, producer based out of Portland, Oregon. And I think so many pleasant surprises from this residency. I feel like it's such a unique residency, and that most residencies are for artists of like different art forms, and this one's just for filmmakers, but also like for filmmakers in the development stage. So you're able to come with a script that wasn't even, for me, I didn't even have a full draft. So I was really able to just spend this whole time working on creating my first draft of this script. And I don't know, I think it was kind of a really unique journey for me, being in solidarity or like solitude out here, but also like having these other filmmakers that I could be inspired by, and really kind of pushing me to continue my writing. And yeah, I just finished my first draft like yesterday.
That's great.
And it's called Palm of Your Hand. And yeah, it centers around 2 women and their developing friendship.
My name is Parker Winship. I'm a filmmaker and writer based out of Wisconsin. And the project I'm working on here is it's like a multi-generational family drama. So it's set in multiple different time periods, and it intercuts together kind of different episodes from people's lives in 3 generations of a family, of a kind of a post-war family in the 60s, and then we follow their children basically through like the kind of 90s. They're in the kind of boomer generation. And then also it follows 2 different characters in 2020, and kind of their own experiences during the pandemic, which are themselves like pretty complicated and stressful. And then I've been really interested in like genetics and evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology, and so like how these different kind of behavior systems and experiences of people in one family are all kind of connected by their genetics.
So my name is Nelson Tracy. I'm a Los Angeles-based filmmaker, and my day job, so to speak, is freelance editing. And I, in a normal world, I'm like juggling like 10 projects at once, and I have a little bit of kind of imposter syndrome with writing because no one has ever like hired me to write or anything like that. And so I feel like I got about a year's worth of writing done in a month by having
Oh,
this
wow.
focus, time, and energy. And that's something I've always sought out. I believe in the concepts of like deep work and like focusing on one thing, not multitasking, but obviously that's a whole lot easier said than done, especially in the last year. So for me, this has been a really satisfying to, take off some of that imposter syndrome and be like, no, I am a writer and I am someone who has projects that I can engineer into screenplays, both with a whole lot of focused time on my own, which has its ups and downs, no doubt, but then also having this sounding board of 5 other people also in different stages of their films. And my pitch is, it's a film called The Scotch Matters, and it's about a 30-something woman who's looking for a fresh start, and she gets a job as a live-in cook and cleaner for an eccentric couple living out in Grande Oregon, which is where we are. And there are sort of 2 mysteries that unfold. One is kind of what's up with this couple. They're just a little bit off. The second mystery is also like, why is this woman all the way out here, and like why is this job appealing to her? So yeah, I just finished my first draft as well. I would not have gotten to that point this quickly without a month of focused energy and time.
That's so amazing. I mean, it kind of looks like you guys are at summer camp. It looks like a retreat,
I'm saying that it's just like summer camp.
Yeah.
It feels like we even go on like field trips to go on hiking trails.
Like pack lunches and like
Yeah.
Yeah, how fun.
The only thing we're missing is some sing-along songs.
Oh, right. We could do that right now. Hey, no, that's okay. I'll hold back. That's so great. I mean, it sounds so wonderful that you guys have been able to take this time to focus, and I think it's such a great time to do that, to like get away and recharge with everything going on. So that's awesome. Like your project is to be produced in Oregon. Does it need to be fully shot in Oregon, or can it be like partially shot and produced in Oregon and then maybe shoot in other locations?
There's an active interest from the film festival to bring projects here of different scales. And I think that the first step of that is introducing talented and high profile filmmakers from outside the area to the region.
What drives you to make films, and what would you say is your main goal as a filmmaker?
So I'm Mexican American, so I think I just like really have so many stories that I like want to tell and make and see that I haven't seen before, centered around my culture or centered around characters from my community, the Latina community particularly. And so for me, like, that's what really pushes me to like make sure every project I'm like making has that incorporated into it, just because it's something I desire to see and experience. I definitely have a lot of things from my culture kind of like influencing and inspiring the film that I'm making.
I'm a total science nerd, so I love like getting an excuse to like do a deep dive into certain science concepts and talk with those different experts that are working in those fields, and try to figure out how to put the real life science into a fictional story but remain true to it. And so like that's, I think, the thing that I'm most excited about, and that I find myself getting pulled in different directions of like, oh, I want to write a script about this because this is so cool, but having to try to focus on just one.
I was born loving movies, and I don't quite know why, but I have never doubted it. And I think part of it is that it leads me to so many other places. It's not like I get excited about the story, and I think that what really drives me is curiosity. And I come out to a place like this, and I ask, like my ears are just open with questions of like, who lives here? Why do they live here? Why have they stayed here? All this stuff. And I think when I'm in LA or wherever I'm living, I'm less curious, just because I have like a sense of settlement. Also, candidly, LA is kind of spoken for in a lot of ways. We've seen a lot of movies and books and television that have covered LA in a way more texture and nuance than I would be able to do, in a short amount of time. When I come out here, I have not seen stories out here. I don't know like what it's like to be an author out here. I have a background in documentary. I think that's informed it a little bit too, but I think that general curiosity feeds the types of stories that I just like feel a compulsion to make happen. And
I've loved movies like since I can remember, and you know, in a lot of different ways, and like I like movies of all kinds, and you know, maybe just because I've watched so many movies and I think about movies so much, I mean, they really influence the way I think about the world, and I really look at film as a tool to kind of examine our lives and examine, you know, why our lives are the way they are, how people kind of make sense of their world, things like that. Like, and it's like it has like influenced my philosophy of life.
All of it. It's really cool to get each of your perspectives, and they were all a little different. So thank you very much. It's been really great chatting with you guys. Thank you again, Natalie. All of your projects sound really amazing, and I'm excited to see you know, hear updates on what you do with them as they develop. So congratulations on this, you know, Filmmakers Residency, and I wish you the best of luck on all of your projects. And I know this isn't the only one you're working on. So when I say all of them, I mean all of them. Thank you so much.